Shooting a basketball looks simple from the outside. You catch the ball, line it up, and let it fly. But anyone who has actually stepped onto the court knows it's not that easy. Shooting is one of the most deceivingly difficult skills in basketball, and yet it's also the most important. Games are won and lost based on who can put the ball through the hoop consistently. Today, I want to take you inside the mechanics, the mindset, and the subtle details that separate the greatest shooters of all time from everyone else. I studied the top 5 shooters the game has ever seen: Stephen Curry, Ray Allen, Klay Thompson, Reggie Miller, and Kevin Durant. Each of them has a unique form, their own quirks, and their own way of getting buckets. But what I found is that there are shared principles that every great shooter follows. And here's the best part. By the end of this video, I'll be giving you a sample shooting workout you can follow to start implementing these lessons into your own game. So stick around until the end. Shooting in basketball is like an art form that lives in the gray space between science and creativity. There are mechanics that can be taught, repeated, and drilled into muscle memory. And then there's rhythm, that natural flow that makes one player's shot look silky smooth, while another's might look a little awkward, but still goes in. The best shooters in history weren't carbon copies of each other. Their techniques, physiques, and tendencies all varied, but they discovered the balance between what's fundamentally sound and what works uniquely for them. That's what makes shooting so fascinating. It's universal, yet personal. Let's start with Stephen Curry, because if we're talking about shooting, there's no better place to begin.
Curry for 3, got it! Steph, he misses 3 games and then hits.
Curry didn't just become the best shooter of all time, he changed the way the game is played at every level. Before Curry, pulling up from 30 feet was a bad shot. Coaches would bench you for even thinking about it. Now, kids are practicing deep threes in middle school, and NBA defenses have to guard players the second they cross half court. That's the Curry effect. His range isn't just physical, it's psychological.
Oh, he knocks it down! Steph Curry with the shot clock expiring.
Defenders know he can pull up from anywhere, which creates panic and forces them to play higher than they're comfortable. That alone reshaped the geometry of basketball. But Curry isn't just about range, his mechanics are sneaky brilliant. One of the most overlooked aspects of his shot is the dip. Whenever he catches the ball, he lowers it slightly before bringing it back up into his shooting motion. To a casual fan, that looks like wasted time. But it's the exact opposite. That dip gives him rhythm, allowing him to sync his legs and arms together so the motion feels fluid. Without that dip, shots tend to feel rushed and stiff. The beauty of Curry's shot is that he can dip and rise in one smooth, lightning-fast motion, which makes his release feel almost effortless. Then there's his balance. Curry is always under control. Even when he's sprinting full speed, changing direction, and pulling up in a split second, his shoulders and hips are aligned, and his release looks nearly identical. That consistency is what separates him. He doesn't just shoot, he replicates the same shot mechanics no matter the situation. Off the dribble, off the catch, fading, stepping back, or even leaning. Add in his creativity, floaters, runners, 1-foot threes. And Curry has turned shooting into something much bigger than catch-and-shoot fundamentals. And here's something else about Curry, his confidence. Every shooter misses.
But he will be in LA. Steph Curry sidestep 3, and he got it.
I was thinking about that.
Game-by-game grade sheet. Steph Curry. My goodness.
Even the best in the world go through slumps, but Curry never hesitates. He has what shooters call the short memory. If the last 5 shots rimmed out, it doesn't matter. He believes the next one is going in. That's mental toughness at the highest level, and without it, all the mechanics in the world wouldn't matter. Now, if Curry is the revolutionary, Ray Allen is the professor.
Won't go! Rebound Bosh! Back out to Allen! His three-pointer! Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds!
Ray Allen's shooting form is the one you probably saw in coaching clinics, on posters, and in instructional videos. His stance, his release, his follow-through. It's about as textbook as it gets. When people say perfect form, they're usually thinking of Ray Allen, But Ray's greatness didn't just come from natural talent, it came from preparation. Allen was known for his obsessive work ethic. He didn't just shoot hundreds of shots before games, he rehearsed game situations. His warm-ups weren't about messing around. They were about replicating the exact shots he would take in games, over and over, until they were automatic. Catch, dip, release, hold the follow-through. Over and over, thousands of times, until his body could execute the motion without thought. That's why, in one of the most famous moments in NBA history, Game 6 of the 2013 Finals, Allen could backpedal to the corner, catch a pass with the season on the line, and calmly drain a three that saved Miami's championship hopes. People called it clutch, but to Ray Allen, it was muscle memory. He'd prepared for that exact shot countless times. His discipline and repetition gave him the ability to stay calm in the moment. That's the lesson Ray Allen gives us. Shooting isn't about occasional brilliance. It's about consistent, relentless preparation. Next, let's talk about Klay Thompson.
Warriors are having fun. Klay for three. Good!
Well, now he's got to go for 60.
57!
If Curry changed the way we think about shooting, Klay showed us what pure efficiency looks like. Klay might have the quickest, cleanest release the NBA has ever seen. His form is stripped down to the essentials. No wasted movement, no extra dip, no unnecessary flair. Just catch, set, and fire. That's why he can erupt for 37 points in a single quarter or score 60 points on just 11 dribbles. His shot is designed for maximum speed and repeatability. Klay thrives in catch-and-shoot situations. Unlike Curry, who often creates his own looks, Klay is at his deadliest when running off screens, relocating, or spotting up. His patience is underrated. He doesn't chase shots. He waits for the right opportunity, and when it comes, his mechanics guarantee that the ball leaves his hands before the defense can react. That's the genius of Klay. He doesn't need much space, just a fraction of a second, and that's enough. But Klay also shows us the mental side of shooting in a different way. He's famously calm. Even when he starts cold, he doesn't force the game. He stays patient, trusts his mechanics, and when he catches rhythm, it looks like he can't miss. That locked-in mentality is why he can go from invisible to unstoppable in a matter of minutes.
Thompson is open, fires up a three, got it! See Curry, outside Thompson, and that three is going to rattle.
Klay teaches us that simplicity and patience are just as important as mechanics. Sometimes the best shooters aren't overthinking, they're just letting the game flow through them. Before Curry and Klay though, there was Reggie Miller. Reggie's shot wasn't the prettiest. His form was a little unconventional. His legs kicked out, his body leaned, and his release looked a bit awkward compared to someone like Ray Allen. But what made Reggie deadly was everything that happened before the shot. He was the master of movement, constantly running, weaving through screens, and wearing down defenders. Reggie turned the art of getting open into a weapon. His mechanics worked for him because he was always ready to shoot. The moment he caught the ball, he was prepared to let it go. Defenders hated guarding him because he never stopped moving. He didn't need much space, just a sliver of daylight, and he'd make you pay. His famous battles with the Knicks, especially his 8 points in 9 seconds at Madison Square Garden, showed not only his shooting ability, but his mental toughness. Reggie wasn't afraid of the big moment. In fact, he thrived in it. The lesson from Reggie is that shooting isn't just about mechanics. It's also about creating opportunities. You can have the best form in the world, but if you can't get open, you won't get to use it. Movement, conditioning, and off-ball IQ are critical, and Reggie Miller was a master of all three. And finally, there's Kevin Durant.
About a tenth of a second. Game clock, shot clock, it didn't matter for Durant.
To become the all-time leading scorer. James or Durant?
Who is more probable? Durant hits the three.
Durant is unlike any shooter we've ever seen. At nearly 7 feet tall, with a wingspan that makes defenders look tiny, he shouldn't be able to shoot like a guard, but he can, and at an elite level.
Not gonna get back in there and play the big man. He's fouled again! Back-to-back 4-point opportunities for Kevin Durant.
KD's form is smooth and fluid, with a high release that's virtually unblockable. Even when defenders are draped all over him, His size and touch allow him to rise up and shoot over anyone. What makes Durant special is how he combines traditional mechanics with his unique physical tools. His elbow is aligned, his wrist snaps perfectly, his follow-through is consistent. But when you put that textbook form on a body that's nearly 7 feet tall, it becomes unfair. He can hit mid-range pull-ups, deep threes, and off-the-dribble shots that other players can't even attempt. Durant's lesson is about adapting your form to your body. He didn't try to shoot like Ray Allen or Reggie Miller. He figured out what worked for him, given his size and skill set, and perfected it. That's something every player can learn from. Study your own body, find your comfort zone, and then master it relentlessly. When we step back and look at all 5 of these shooters, we see a clear pattern emerging. Their forms aren't identical. Each has quirks that make their shot their own, but the foundation underneath is surprisingly similar. Every one of them begins with balance. Their feet are never random, there's intention in the stance. Most of the time, the dominant foot is placed slightly ahead of the other, giving them both stability and a natural line to the basket. From the ground up, that base is the anchor that allows everything else to flow. Then comes the way they hold the ball. None of them let the ball sink deep into the palm, because that kills touch. Instead, the ball rests on the pads of the fingers, controlled by the fingertips, almost floating just enough so they can guide it with precision. Next is the dip, whether it's Curry's pronounced rhythm dip or Ray Allen's tighter, more compact one. The dip acts as a trigger that syncs the lower body with the upper body. It's that rhythm that turns a stiff motion into a fluid one. Then we look at the elbow. It's not always textbook 90 degrees, but what matters is alignment. The shooting elbow consistently points toward the rim, creating a straight line from the hand to the target. The guide hand, meanwhile, stays disciplined. It supports the ball until the last instant, then slides away cleanly, never pushing, never twisting, never interfering with the release. And of course, the finish. Watch any of these shooters and you'll see the same thing. A high follow-through, wrists snapping down so the fingers point toward the floor, the elbow lifted like it's frozen in place. They hold it long enough for the ball to drop, a quiet display of discipline and confidence. But maybe the most important thing of all is how natural it looks. There's no extra tension, no wasted motion. Their shots aren't robotic, they flow. That comfort, the feeling that the shot belongs to them, is the ultimate common ground between every great shooter in history. But beyond the mechanics, there's the mental side of shooting. Confidence, resilience, and routine. Every shooter goes through slumps. The difference between average shooters and great ones is how they respond. Curry keeps shooting from 30 feet even if he missed the last 5. Ray Allen trusted his mechanics in the biggest moment of his career because he'd repeated them thousands of times. Klay stays calm until the game comes to him. Reggie thrived on pressure and loved silencing hostile crowds. Durant trusts his form against any defender in the world. That's what separates good shooters from legendary ones. It's not just about how the shot looks, it's about the mindset behind it. Visualization, focus, and the ability to stay calm under pressure are the hidden secrets of shooting. Now, here's a workout that ties everything we've learned into something you can use. Screenshot this and adjust it to your liking. If you build a routine like this, blending mechanics, conditioning, and mental preparation, you'll be on your way to developing a shot that feels natural, reliable, and confident. So here's what I found after studying the greatest shooters in basketball history. There isn't one perfect form. There are fundamentals that everyone should follow, but the real secret is finding what works for you, and then mastering it through repetition, patience, and confidence. Stephen Curry, Ray Allen, Klay Thompson, Reggie Miller, and Kevin Durant all shot the ball differently, but they all shot it consistently, with mechanics that suited their bodies and a mindset that never wavered. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below answering this question. Which shooter do you think has the most unstoppable shot of all time? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.